joining me this afternoon. So on behalf of the ASU Study Abroad Office, I want to welcome you. My name is Adam Henry, and I am our director of our office. And I thought what I would do is just start out with sharing with you why we're here, a little bit of an agenda, and then we would love for you to introduce yourselves and share why you're here, what program you're looking at, and if you have co-leaders or assistants with you, introduce them as well. And then if you haven't received your food or gotten your food, please do so. And you can tell we've ordered plenty for you. So keep eating. This isn't a one plate only event. So we want you to eat many plates of food. And really, just to start off on behalf of our office, we're really thrilled to be here with you. And we know that it's already been some work to propose for the program, and it's going to be continued work, so you're going to learn a little more about some of the just kind of ways that we're going to be collaborating with you. But we appreciate you. We know that there's great value. I think we're here because there's great value in seeing ASU students engage in other cultures. And about 900 students want to engage in your programs. Plus. So it's a great opportunity for you as well as for ASU students. So with that, this is our new faculty director orientation. Part of today, the information used to be given out a little later, but we have received some really great feedback that it should come earlier. So that's what we want to do today. So we're going to look at, we're going to do introduction, talk about the benefits of leading a program, talk about what we provide as an office, and also the many hats that faculty directors wear. It's not just instructor anymore or faculty member. We're going to have our assistant director talk about our health and safety process. We're going to review some timelines. Timelines are always important, and in this case, really important because some things have to happen before you can go. A little bit about marketing, some best practices, and then we have a faculty member with us who has led many programs, and we're gonna kind of do a panel, and she's gonna share her experiences, and then we also get to hear from a newer faculty director, and he'll just talk about what it was like, the first time around. So with that, why don't we, you don't need to stand up, but why don't you just, maybe we'll start here, and just share your name, your academic unit, department, and what you proposed.
Okay. I'm Mike Jacob. I'm a president of College Public Program, social work downtown campus, and a proposal for a service-oriented study abroad program for Nairobi.
Great.
I'm Saturday Well. I'm a senior studies student. I'm a social work, and I'm working alongside Dr. Shaker on that study project.
Great. Glad to hear.
I'm Lisa Yvonne. I'm with Barrett Honor College, and we have a new program that you're going to start to learn, so consider your
Great. Thank you.
But if we stop there, she was very cool. I'm a complete newbie at this. I'm going with that running. So he's proposing a study program to Paris and Barcelona to look at fluency and architectural.
Great.
My name is Ben Watt. I'm from the Department of English, and I am the new director of the Arizona Center for Medieval Renaissance Studies program in Oxford.
Excellent.
I'm Christopher Bradley. I'm in Global Media Studies, which is part of the English department now. And we have a program in Rome where on our side we teach representation of Italians and American film, and on their side they teach at the American School they teach representations of Americans in Italian.
Excellent.
I'm Brandy McGregor from Charleston.
Chris Hanlon, also from Charleston, Massachusetts. With ASU, we've taken students in different sections of the church for 2 years. Prior to so we're trying to get
We spell out charts.
yes, School of Humanity, Arts, and Cultural Studies.
Great. We're new college. Yes. Yeah, great. Thank you. Welcome.
I'm Brandy McGregor. I'm an international coordinator in the Cody Rock. We're right here.
And then Kendra.
I'm Kendra Kirby. I'm an outreach coordinator at the Arizona Center for Medieval and Renaissance Studies, and I assist Eddie Watt at the Oxford program.
Great. Start with that. Yeah.
Sure. My name's Kyle Rouse. I'm the program manager for the Baptist Director Program Unit, and I work with the School of Social Change, colleges and art sciences, political science program, compact journalism program, and there.
I'm Katie Reynolds. I'm an associate professor in the School of Computer Engineering and the Building Management, and I'm working with Dr. Sharikona. We're going to look at our program on Earth Systems Engineering and Intelligence.
Great.
I'm Bella, and I'm in the Michigan School of Human Communication, and I am the director of the London, Dublin, and Edinburgh program.
I'm at the running for.
22.
Wow. So she's our veteran faculty who will be showing you. Yeah.
My name is Dan Hart. I'm assistant director of student safety and engagement. I've been here
For 22 years. Okay.
I'm David Cunningham, I'm a lecturer in applied biological sciences in the school and college of letters and science. Development program, applied South African Wildlife College, so we'll be country, South Africa.
Excellent.
My name is Sean Elledge. I teach math for the College of Arts and Sciences in Madrid.
Awesome.
I'm Britta Button, I'm director of the Walton Higher Education Program, which is the Walton Sustainability Solutions Initiative, and we are presenting about this program this year.
Great. Want to let them know?
Sure. We have run previously on Brazil and Spain, Morocco, and then we have 3 new proposals, one in Guatemala, another one in Argentina, and Nepal.
Great.
Program chair for graphic information technology. It seems like it's really popular. We're going to have it. I've done it several times on my own, but now we're part of program engineering school. We are going to see how that works in the process. Our emphasis go on photography and architecture, which is a little more commercial. Then we studied at the Louis Vuitton Foundation, just in the opening. And we're
Great. This includes Goldstein on the science and mathematics, College of Letters and Sciences. I did a study abroad last year for the first time with Constantine A. Ramirez. Went to the Dominican Republic and was supposed to go there again. We did internships and courses in culture and health.
Great. And Bruce will be sharing a little bit about being new to it all. Yep. So, well, once again, welcome. I'm going to let Kyle come on up and kind of take it from here and other staff. I know I was working with all of you initially, and as the system and process kind of changed a bit, we communicated less just because the form was created. But I do want to make clear that as new proposers, what I've heard from the provost is that we hope to communicate out come mid-October in regards to whether or not your program is approved or not, and if anything changes, we'll be sure to keep you up to date. Alright, so let's get started. Before we dive into our agenda, I did want to say that you probably know that currently, Randy, myself, and Becca are the faculty director unit. We are 2 down at the moment, but we're excited to announce that on Monday we have a new coordinator starting. I'm going to be hiring for our last coordinator. So we are a 1-person coordinating team. So all that is to say that we are divided by colleges and schools, so though you might be working with Randy and myself now, in the future we might be introducing you to someone new. So when that time comes, we will definitely let you know. So what we're going to do next is talk about some positives, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Randy to talk about because for the rest of the year we have these workshops. We'll be talking about very heavy stuff, health and safety, and separations or crises, but we wanted to spend some time to talk about the great things that we as faculty directors are able to do as part of this program and what our office can help you do. So Andy, take it away.
Yeah, thanks. So how many of you not from ASU obviously, but in a previous life somewhere have led a faculty or a program abroad? A couple of you? How many of you have been abroad? All right, and that's why you're here, yeah? So we just want to talk about the benefits because I get really excited about this. I didn't study abroad as an undergraduate. That was dumb. I learned my lesson. When I was in grad school, my husband and I spent a semester in the Netherlands teaching and living with students in dorms, which I felt very stressed out about and ended up being great. Shared bathrooms are awesome. And then we moved on and were teaching and got to lead a group of students on a humanities tour in Europe for a month. And so through these opportunities, I didn't get to study abroad, but I saw the value and saw how amazing and incredible it could be, both for me. Turns out seeing the Leaning Tower of Pisa in person is way more awesome than seeing it in a Google image, right? And also just how formative it is for the students. So we wanted to just start off by talking about the benefits, and I don't know, I thought I'd just open it up and see what y'all think are the benefits of studying abroad, or leading a group of students studying abroad. Or if you're just doing this because, I don't know, someone somewhere has said you must. Don't tell us that that's the case.
Benefits for them as individuals?
Yeah, well, benefits to any benefit, all of the benefits. Francine, you were going to say something.
Just enjoy what you do. I taught before, however, I didn't hang out with that all. And just you see the really the world opens up to them, and they start traveling well beyond your parents and making them. So that's tremendous.
Awesome, so opening up the world and watching them develop and grow. Good, okay, yeah, Kendra.
The couple times that I've gone abroad was talked up to their confidence level has skyrocketed. Learning that from place to place on their own, place where they've never been before, it's really neat.
That's awesome. So watching their creativity and their flexibility and their critical thinking skills and their independence grow exponentially.
For the traveler to, it'll be fun.
Dude, leave me alone, I got this, right? Yeah, absolutely. Penny.
Well, one of the things, of course, they open up and all that, but because it's photography that I can take them over with, they actually learn to see it differently than they would if it's just a tourist routine. But the other thing is the connections that they make. Overseas, when they continue on, the students stay on, and they've made connections that have lasted now for 3 years coming, and that's what's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. So the connections. I'm repeating everything because we have a microphone we're recording the session. So just for the benefit of anyone listening, that's why I sound like a broken record here. But the connections that students make to go back, connections overseas that they can continue
And faculty there.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And then Glenda?
I just think that the biggest learning opportunity for the students especially, they go far beyond the stage of learning of testing. You have mentioned. But one of the things with our programs is we are very focused on being solutions oriented and very much problem-based, which is pretty impossible to do from a distance. You can do so much from a distance. You know, doing this on the ground is invaluable.
So that experiential learning hands-on, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Just working with film students, they tend to only see American films. They're basically blind to their own culture.
Yeah.
And seeing their own culture through somebody else's eyes, and then also seeing their own culture, it's like being on the moon and looking in the earth. It's interacting with people who are not their peers.
Yeah.
And being forced to, it's basically being forced to look in a mirror that they've never looked in before.
Good.
And we teach a lot of American, we teach American film, the American screenwriting style, and having them be forced to stand outside of themselves.
So becoming the other instead of looking at the other, right? And seeing the way that your culture influences you that you don't realize on an everyday basis. Good, Dan.
No, earlier, I remember talking a story to me and Adam about going out with 15 the first summer 2014, so they brought participants last night to follow the Scottish independence election, which says to me that you're very much building a community.
Yeah. Good. Cultivating a relationship with your students that transfer back even after you're done with your program. I'm sorry. Michelle, okay, I apologize.
I've never led a program, but I was doing my studies. I was trying to travel abroad. I'm doing Panama, and I would say, depending on where you're going, following along with the film idea, you kind of get exposed to different environments and different cultures, but also you face some of the fears that you have. So we were definitely scared of going to a place where you do that for 2 weeks and with things that we've never seen before. So that was really good to challenge yourself and go into a scary environment and come out alive.
Come out alive, good, yeah. So facing your fears and experiencing challenges and overcoming those challenges and growing. You guys are amazing because you've all talked about the benefits to the students, and that's why you teach, and that's why we love you. Now, you have a
I just talked about the benefits to us.
fantastic.
I've been teaching at a really large university like this, that at least in the school that I'm in, I never have an opportunity to actually see and interact with my students. I mean, I see them in my class, but then they sort of drop off the earth, and we never see them again in any class. And I mean, our department is really large, but one of the huge benefits that my faculty who go with me every summer say is it's the only time in all of the years that they've taught at ASU that they've actually gotten to know their students.
Good.
So that they've actually gotten to create relationships with them, communicate with them, etc. And I think that's a huge benefit. My faculty and I always have that quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful to be able to do that.
It's so exciting, the opportunity to build relationships with your students and have them last just past the end of the course. Good. Yeah, Kendra.
I just love the benefits of ASU. Because I work with NAU and UVA as well. We have students from all over the schools coming on our program. And I've had students from NAU meet some students from ASU, and they got engaged. And NAU kids were engaged.
Nice.
So we got
So love stories and recruitment. Very good. Excellent. Bruce, did you have an advantage or benefit?
Well, benefit to students, since I've been doing internships and embedded in like veterinary clinics or healthcare clinics for 20 hours a week, they really saw, especially down from the Dominican Republic, that healthcare is not the same throughout the whole world. But it works. But they get a little appreciation for the day-to-day living.
Good. Okay, awesome. So, Brenda, and then we're going to move on.
real quick,
Please,
not to
sir.
involve me, but I think another beautiful benefit of it is they get to explore and travel the world in a relatively safe environment.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, so students get to travel and be in a safe environment, even though they're getting to explore. Well, I'm so glad that you recognize all of these benefits. That's obviously the reason you're here. And when we're telling you in April about all of the responsibilities that are heaped upon your head, let's remember this moment, right? We're all inspired and we're doing this for the students. And just know that it's amazing for y'all too, right? You get to teach classes that you may not get to teach on campus or teach them in a different way. You get to travel abroad, which is obviously the experience that we want to give to our students, but you guys get that too, which is fantastic. So there are so many advantages, and we just want to remember that, because this is why I'm excited about study abroad. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, we're all inspired significantly or sufficiently rather. All right, so y'all are partnering with the ASU Study Abroad Office for the first time, and we're excited about that. And we want you to know that we offer a lot of services to you. You're not going this alone, even if it feels like that sometimes. If it does feel like that, please contact us. Let me or Kyle or our new international coordinators know so that we can help you with any support that we can offer. But just sort of an overview, we provide resources and oversight for health and safety matters. Dan is amazing, as any faculty member can tell you who's done a study abroad before, about the level of support that he offers. And as I was learning the ropes last year, he would bring up things and I think, my gosh, I never even thought of that. That's terrifying that I could let that possibly slide. But Dan will never let that slide. So he's got our back, and he knows all about our insurance, and he can answer any sort of questions about that. So if you have issues about health and safety, come to us and let us help you think through those. for things like, camel rides in the desert, yes, okay, health and safety, or for a boat ride on the Amazon, yes. But also, if you have a student who's super interested who might have some sort of physical disability, let us think through that with you and help you to think about how we might make that an opportunity for students abroad. So we manage all liability documents, which is another good thing to go through our program, and we provide that emergency support. We have a 24-hour, I'm not going to talk about it because you're going to talk about it. So know that it's coming and get excited about all that health and safety that we talk about. We also handle the financial aspects of your program. Some of you have already been in our offices working on budgets with us, so if you haven't and you're wanting to start a budget, know that we're available for that so that we can help you create a program fee, so that we can help you think about all of the inclusions that we should offer, ways to maybe make that program fee lower for your students, if we can get creative with that, so we're really happy to do that. And we also oversee all the billing and financial, so we're going to help get those contracts out. You don't have to worry about contracts. We're going to help pay those invoices. You don't have to worry about that stuff. So all of that we can handle internally and take that off of your plate so that you can focus on making rock your face off academic programs, right? We also coordinate logistics. So again, if you need help, we can help you find a provider, we can help you find a partner, we can help you, make those, if you want to do it alone, that's great. We can work with your on-site people to make sure that the logistics are smooth for the students. And we can also provide best practices for summer study abroad, which we're also going to talk about later, so I will not steal Kyle's thunder. We'll just keep on moving forward. And finally, second to last, penultimately, we facilitate the promotion of programs, and we're going to talk about marketing and tips in a little bit, just the way that we can help you to recruit students, market to students, and get students interested. And then we will help you with all the aspects of that too. So I'm helping with the acceptance procedures, letting you know which students are ready to be enrolled, keeping you updated on numbers, etc. And then finally, we'll help you to evaluate your programs at the end of them. So these are a highlight of our services, but we certainly don't include everything. So if you have any questions or need something specific, please let us know. Any more questions? Yes, of course.
You say it's still a paid promotion now, like any promoting trip. That's liable on that. When we say promotion, I know you can wish you already to the website.
That's right.
Can you say marketing dollars for media placement or music?
So because the study abroad is combined with faculty-directed partnership and exchange, our media placement is very study abroad centric and not program specific. So you'll see study abroad around, but it's not going to be Paris and the City of Lights, architecture and photography. So not in that way, we don't. Absolutely, and you can work with your department to do that, sure. Yep, that's a great question. All right, we're going to talk about marketing tips in a little bit, so I won't steal my own thunder, but we'll move on to the many hats of the faculty director. Let's do them.
I love that at every opportunity she gets, Mandy drops the lock your face off. So I'm going to lock your face off with a description of some of the things that you, as faculty directors, are responsible for. Inside your folder, there is a copy of what we call Statement of Responsibility. And all such good students are pulling it out. You don't necessarily have to, I just want to make sure you know that it's there. This is something that you likely have seen before. We have a link to this on our new program proposal page. This is something that you'll be asked to sign electronically a little bit later in the process. But I wanted to use this as a framework to talk a little bit about what you're going to be doing on this program. And for many folks who are fresh to this idea of study abroad at ASU, we tend to focus on the curriculum and where I want to go and teaching the students and all of the fantastic things that happen. But it's sometimes easy to gloss over all of the many things that you are responsible for. When you are abroad with your students, and maybe we'll hear more about this from our mini panel later, you are a teacher, you are a counselor, you are a babysitter, you are a crisis interventionist, you are a police officer, you are what else? mom, dean of students, community assistant, nurse, friend, companion. You're not just a teacher in this country. So some of the things that I wanted to draw attention to in this document, I'm not going to show it up here on the screen, but as a health and safety guy, the biggest thing for me on here is that you're responsible for fostering a safe environment for your students. And we help you with that, although we won't be physically present with you on the ground. So the things that you are responsible, generally speaking, for on the ground, well, there's a lot of pre-departure information here, which I'm just really not going to cover. These are things like making sure your classes that you're teaching get built. Facilitating a pre-departure orientation. Promoting the program in addition to some of the bigger picture efforts that we're engaging in terms of marketing. But between now and the time the program starts, you're going to have to handle a lot of stuff. And then when you get there, anything could happen, right? You could get there on the first day and half of your group is missing because they were all on the same flight out of New York that got way late because of a volcanic eruption and ice plans, right? And now all of a sudden you're there, you're on your first day of class and half your group. These are the kinds of things that we want to try to help prepare you to deal with once you're on site. From my perspective, this isn't the most important part of our conversation right now, so I'm going to kind of move on. As you look through this, if anything stands out as, oh, that's not what I was getting myself into here, or if you have any questions or concerns, please contact your international coordinator or contact me directly, and I'll be happy to come through this with you. Part of us bringing this to you today is really to just continue to set the expectation of your roles as program leaders. So, I mentioned that we will help prepare you, try to help prepare you to deal with situations like this. And I did want to draw your attention to another document that we have on your shoulder, faculty, staff, pre-departure, preparation. So as program leaders, you have a lot to learn, we always all do. But in terms of mandatory preparation for you as program leaders, the main thing I wanted to get across. We offer, this is a newly kind of re-envisioned pre-departure preparation protocol. Apparently I'm good over pre-departure preparation protocol. We have taken a good look at the information that we provided, the resources that we provided to our program leaders over the last several years. Taking a critical look, and we've made some changes, and the document that you have in here represents this newly re-envisioned program that we put together. So the most critical piece of this is what we're calling an emergency preparedness and response seminar. This is something that our faculty directors and our program assistants, our grad assistants, anybody coming at you working on these programs needs to attend one of these sessions every 2 years. Ideally, the program that you propose will have legs and you'll be sustainable and will be offered year after year. Should your program run again next year, you don't have to attend this seminar next year. However, we have created, we are continuing to offer a number of other workshops, and we have also, however, created a number of health and safety oriented risk management liability workshops for you as well. We will require each program leader to attend 2 such workshops during that same 2-year period. So we have a 2-hour emergency preparedness and response seminar once every 2 years, and then we have 1-hour workshops throughout the academic year. So basically what we're asking for is 2 hours of your time per year. Hopefully not too much to ask. There are details of those workshops on here, and there's also information on our website, and we'll certainly email you invitations to those as well. Some of the health and safety workshops like incident management, basic incident response management, and advanced incident response management, and understanding your medical insurance, and things like that. All that hasn't been scheduled yet, but you'll get information on that. In terms of program support, staff, they are not not similarly required to attend those 2 workshops. They are required to come to our emergency preparedness and response seminar, but those other workshops are optional.
Are those always in spring, or do they have some that will be offered in the fall?
We do have workshops that are offered starting this fall, the health and safety, or planning in spring. We want to try to get those a little closer to the program start so that it stays relevant.
Is this something they would study about, is it going to be tracking, or is it something they, our unit will need to track all of our faculty records?
It's something that we will be checking. And by we, I mean,
Do the 2 workshops in versus comparisons alternate, right? So this year we go to the emergency preparedness one,
and you don't have to go next year.
and then we do the workshops next year.
You could bump it all this year if you want.
Well, I just have to, like, I would like to cancel those little classes also, maybe do something as possible. Some of those all the way out in fall and come over here, if they like just reschedule a whole day.
These are all things that I call.
We will be debate. We will be, we have in the past and would like to again report these sessions. So, say proximity is an issue, we can record these sessions. Have you watched them? Maybe I could push you sometime, make sure you watch it.
We do live sessions for our program a lot every week through Adobe Connect, that's like the
Yeah, we hope that we can use video as well. So we broadcast some of them online and everything as well. The cover themes of these workshops. Marketing, no matter, study by insurance, yeah, this is all I want. Any questions about this piece? Stay tuned for more information. Okay. So I want to get into the weeds a little bit, because I like to live there. Well, I don't know if I like to, but I do live there. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the processes that we have in place related to health and safety matters that relate to the pre-departure process. So things that we do help you and your students during the application process that have something to do with liability or health and safety or and you have a golden round, is that what we're calling the company? Golden round. In your office thing, just a bit over salmon color. Alright, so this is not the version that will live with you for your summer 15 program. This is a copy of our summer 2014 emergency preparedness and response guide. I'm not going to dig too deeply into this, we will do so in our workshops. But I wanted to call your attention during this presentation specifically to the first page, resources. So, 24/7 emergency response line, that's not a pre-departure issue, that's once abroad, so we'll come back to that later. Disciplinary record check, student medical health disclosure and screening, and some of our intelligence gathering activities is really what I want to focus on right now. And I'll try to be brief so that we can keep moving on. But I want you to know that we do conduct a disciplinary record check for all applicants to the study program. And I should clarify, for all students who have been accepted for participation in the program. We don't do this as a pre-screening process. We do this only for students who are likely to be going on your program, students who have been accepted or who have taken the next step in their participation. This is a largely automatic behind-the-scenes process. We share information with the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. They do the research, they tell us what previous indiscretions the students have committed, which 9 times out of 10 is getting caught with alcohol and drug levels. All of your students will, and you will all have at least one student who's been busted for drinking in the rest hall, or has a minor in consumption, or has had a marijuana violation. The good news is, that's usually the worst thing that our students have done. Maybe they're self-selecting out of this process. I don't know. But rest assured that we will know what previous disciplinary violations that have had as long as it's in the last 3 years, which is their statute of limitations. That comes to me, I review that. Students who do have a previous disciplinary record have to jump through a couple of extra hoops for us. It's very unlikely that this previous issue will prevent them from being on the academic program. That maybe there's one student a year who's had such a horrible pattern of violations that we don't let them do. More often than not, this is a routine process. The hoops that I mentioned they have to jump through, there's 2 extra things they need to do for us, at least. One is to answer 2 questions in their application. Tell us in your own words what happened. And then question number 2, explain why, despite this previous transgression, we should still let you go on this program. And in most cases, as long as they've taken this seriously and they've explained away the right incident, I will prove them. I'll send them a message, congratulations, I hope all goes well on the program. Let's not have any problems. Sort of like first strike. That's the vast majority of the cases. In some cases, I might see incidents involving physical harm, or a pattern of poor alcohol violations, or a student who's currently on probation. In those cases, I'm likely to reach out to you, or your coordinator is likely to reach out to you to ask you to take a look at that information. Let's talk about what we want to do with this student. Do we want to have a little intervention and sit down with the student and figure God into that student? Or how do we want to handle it? Is this severe enough that we don't have to allow the student to go on the program? Again, that's really very good. So what we're doing, we're vetting, we're sharing with you what we think you need to know. I don't think you necessarily need to know all of your students who got up to drinking when they were freshmen. But you will have access to this information, and we can talk more later about how you see that information. But you have access to your student applications, and that includes this disciplinary information. So it will be available to you. I simply will not proactively share it with you. Okay? Similarly, we have a nice process worked out in partnership with student health and their telemedicine clinic. There's sort of 2 parts to that process. One is the disclosure process from the students, and another the health screening process with health services. So talking about disclosure first, I realize I said I was going to try to do this fast. I'm just going to keep going. So the disclosure process, we ask students very basic information about their health status after they've been accepted to participate in the program. We will not and cannot ask them prior to acceptance. So they're in, we ask them, yes or no, do you have one of these 20 conditions? They say yes, I don't know which of those 20 things that they have, but that is a trigger to refer them for a mandatory visit to ASU Health Services, where they will go and meet with a child medicine physician, who will give them this big detailed report of all of this information that we think they ought to know about healthy travel, healthy living in that place, vaccination recommendations, requirements, health system, emergency contacts. It's that perhaps the most valuable part of the product that they get. And then we also ask the student, is there anything you want to know? So any information that they disclose will be available to you to see, but I will share with you proactively any information that I think you need to see. So these could be dietary restrictions, these could be food allergies, these could be I'm a type 1 diabetic and I need access to refrigeration for the program, this could be I'm in a wheelchair, it could be I'm allergic to, well, what's the one that I saw the other day? Like I'm allergic to final. I don't know what it was. It was the most strange allergy. Do you remember? I think I told you about that. It was hilarious. Yes.
The one question I have to do with the disability part. So you don't know before you accept. So if you have a trip that requires a lot of walking, activity, gathering, once it's accepted, you then go say, well, sorry, this isn't a trip for you? What
That has happened before, yes. So this question was about if you do have a student with a disability who's already in the program and now only after the fact you find out that they have a physical limitation that might make the program difficult and impossible for them to navigate. We have had situations where students fail to disclose, we never met the student, the faculty director had never met the student, and pay bills, and then they show up in their motorized wheelchair and they're going on a program where there are no elevators and no public transportation. That happens, but it happens rarely. We have a lot of information we have some information on our website. We report students with disabilities. We encourage them to disclose early, so that we can help them determine if the program they're interested in and indeed accommodate their needs.
You don't say anything up front, like this particular trip has been,
We do. That was going to be my next comment. There is space on our web pages for each of your programs for any specific limitations that we might know about. There's a general blurb disclosure on there that the requirements do not necessarily apply abroad, and you may not find that accommodation is possible in your location. And there's some generic language depending on your program. This might include a lot of walking, a lot of this, a lot of that. That's of the territory on our site where we can say this requires you to walk at least 5 miles a day, uphill, in the snow, both ways. So yes, we can disclose that very early, and in fact, we need to do that.
And aren't all the students required to meet with the coordinators now before they get into the program?
I'm looking at Kyle.
That's what
That is an agreement which I had last year. I would put on my students when I accept them. I would be doing that. And we have not yet made a decision because of hiring new staff. If we will learn that from one of our coordinators, but it's certainly vision into the situation.
We have some faculty members who also require a meeting with the faculty member before we will accept the student. So, yeah. Indeed, we do not require face-to-face meetings with our staff, and we could if we wish. Students, I think, hopefully the ones that with the most profound mobility limitations are going to be forthcoming with this information.
The medical disclosures and the visits to the healthcare clinic, those are mandatory and, those are optional and not enforced, or?
Yeah. No, they're mandatory, but not enforced. Right. So, it's not mandatory. Now, with the student health questionnaire that we give them an application, we present as mandatory. They're going to get reminder emails from our system. We haven't done it.
We don't verify that they've got their vaccines.
No, we have no responsibility to verify that they've received their vaccines. If the student doesn't complete that online form and tell us that information, that could be the ground for dismissal from the program. For example, if they don't say anything about their wheelchair and they show up in the Amazon in their wheelchair, we can send them home and cover it. So if they don't ever fill that out, they can still go on the program. If they are required to go to the travel clinic and they don't, they can still go on the program. We're providing the opportunity for them. If they don't, we're not negligent in letting them stay.
You just kind of touched on it. The idea of sending them home or taking them off part of the trip and then placing them someplace in the country. There are certain things that they could get into if they wanted to, but I don't want them with the group anymore. And is that a possibility? You make that up front, you do this, why is one hurt?
Yes. Yes. So each individual program could have its own code of conduct that lays on top of the ABOR student code of conduct. I think if there are such things, I tell you, you cannot go to that part of town because there were 50 people murdered there last month, and you find out that they went to that part of town. You might be able to dismiss them. I will say that taking a student off the program is going to be the last resort, and we're going to work with you to intervene as much as we can before we send our student home because there's academic implications, financial implications, and we pick them out of the program housing, and then where do they go? What do they do? What if they're in mental distress, and that's why they need to be gone? So there are also evacuation, medical and emergency evacuation policy that we have had to enact. This last summer we evacuated the students with some mental health crisis. So insurance companies, insurance policy covers important.
Good question, too, and follow-up. That decision to dismiss a student who is not in country, it's not one faculty director makes on their own.
The student is not.
They're back to the office.
Yes, yeah. So the decision to dismiss a student should not be made by you alone. It's not unusual for me to pick up the phone and have you tell me all the reasons why you've already made this decision. And that may very well be appropriate, but we're going to need to do some due diligence. And some of that comes down to what have you told them about expectations? Is there anything that they've had to sign saying, if you do this again, you're gone? So we may need to still do a little bit of due diligence to feel comfortable from a, let's say, liability or legal perspective, to send that to Paul.
Paul, a question back on how, student health travel officer, they able to provide necessary immunizations for...
Yeah, the AAP Travel Management Clinic does, they don't have all vaccines,
Not free.
no, it's not free, but they can administer vaccines.
One of the issues we had was that we were given information to communication 2 weeks before we left, and the communication was going to be done 30 days before we left. So none of us got the communication because so communication. Yeah.
So there are some locations in the world, I should say this before we move on, there are some locations in the world where the healthcare system perhaps not as reliable as ours, or where there's a general lack of Western training with speaking physicians, or specialists, or there's this is a region with a number of endemic diseases, or some specific required vaccines. There are a number of countries that we've identified with ASC Health Services as ones that would require a visit to the travel clinic no matter what the student's So there are a set number of programs, and they will be on the list, where students are required to go regardless of what they do or do not disclose to us. And by required, I mean in the same way. So they're presented with that information. If they are required by virtue of the program location, they see that requirement the moment they're accepted to participate to that program. They don't necessarily see it pre-acceptance, but the moment they're accepted, they see it. And the hope is they will follow through on that. A lot of times, though, health services say, we've gotten 20 of our appointments this week because they're all leaving next week and we can't come. So, they will. We talk to them in our pre-departure materials and our handbooks and orientations about their personal responsibility. This is a topic that we will continue discussing throughout the year, both with some things that we'll share with you by email, but also in these additional workshops. We'll talk a lot more about the medical insurance coverage. We'll talk a lot more about responding to disciplinary issues or crises that arise on site. Just wanted to set the stage a little bit for you today and give you a sense of some of the things that we will be doing behind the scenes to support you in your activities that you won't necessarily come in contact with on a regular basis.
So a question on your emergency line, so when you're in work in a different time zone and there's something happening in the middle of the night here, do you have 24-hour?
We do. So I'll just tell you there's 24/7 number, 965-3456, is that a familiar number to anyone? AAPD is that. Because they only have phone 24/7, they can accept phone calls, and they have the prompts, and then they call my cell phone. And if I hear it, I answer. If I don't, they call Adam. If Adam doesn't answer, maybe we're going to be adding files into that list. So calling that number is not good immediate assistance necessarily. The information we get to you and the students, and there's several scenario incidents in here that you can see. Always number one is get the help if you need immediately. Tell us about it. But yes, that call will be answered. Other institutions that are rotating cell phone or, it's health and safety guys' responsibility to take those 24/7 calls. That's too big of a risk for us. We're not comfortable with that.
A lot of the programs, like out there, we work with ISA, International Study Abroad. When we got down to the Dominican Republic, they told us that if a student or your faculty member during the program went to Haiti or Cuba, that would no longer be gone if they found out about it. And again, that was something new to us. We didn't know about. I don't know if they could actually get a student dismissed for that or what the ramifications were, but might be something to look into.
Yeah, that's a good point. So a lot of times we're partnering with other organizations that have their own policies and they want to put a call. And that would be an addition.
Something I know just for safety, if something happened in Cuba, you might not be able to put personnel.
Right. And one last question, and then we're going to rock and roll.
Oh, you have sat phones.
We have no phones that we own in our property, but we can connect you with agencies that rent phones.
I've been in
I guess what I would say about that is we need you to be accessible at all times so that we know you can call me in the case of us in the case of an emergency, or we can call you in the case of an emergency. And if that means a sat phone, then we include in our budget an expense for a sat phone. Thank you for all your questions. That was more interest than I expected to get from you. I'm pretty sure I went way over time, so thank you all for that, and apologies to whoever that.
Okay, we're gonna talk super quickly briefly about marketing tips and strategies. You guys have a packet in your folder that's stapled, and I just want to point out just a couple of things. Oh no, it's the timeline. We're gonna move on past the timeline. You guys also have a document that's the timeline. So this document will give you kind of a month-by-month example of everything that you need to do. And of course, if you have any questions, you can ask us. March 1st is the application deadline. March 8th is the confirmation deadline. The students have to confirm in their program. And March 23rd, we're going to lock in one of the budgets, mid, min, or max. I didn't say this in the right order. All right, and then tips and strategies. I just want to show you that you have this very small print, super informative document. I would really encourage you to read it. We're going to help you with a lot of your marketing issues, but you guys can do a lot of initiatives too and work with your departments and work with other faculty who have done this before to help you. As a fun project, if you guys turn to the back of it and grab a pen, it says in the yellow box at the bottom, annual study abroad there in November. If you just write November and then put an 18 there, you're going to know the study abroad fair date. Okay, so just so you have that on your calendar and you've written it so that it's in your head.
Is that word fair only on Tempe campus?
It's only on Tempe campus.
Can you talk about?
So we are on all of the other campuses now once a week, and so we will be letting.
We can follow you there three times a weekend. Tuesday, 3 times a month.
That's right, and then Dan's there the last month. So we will be on the other campuses, but the fair is actually held in 2 ballrooms in the,
Yeah.
It's from 11 to 3. Okay, awesome.
It'll be an invitation if you have an opportunity.
If y'all have any questions about marketing and tips, please let us know. We're here to help you.
Little signs, are they actually made by the department?
The flyers?
Or signs you would put up and see them?
Yeah, so we have, again, general study abroad signs. If you want to make specific signs for your program, we will print flyers for you, but we won't have like the yard signs or anything.
Signs of your college?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'll see like school community social change has invested in some big nice campus signs. You'll see others that have what looks like a science fair display. We have information for you on sort of successful cabling. Very quickly.
Okay, we're kind of rushing through this because we do have the information in your package, and we want to make sure to get to our faculty panel, because last year it was told that that was the best part, but that's when you ask your questions to people who've done with it. And I know that the faculty has to be able to talk about best practices for short-term programs, so I'm going to please do this. But what we would like to do is just give you an idea. We hope that you want to be willing to teach your academic focus on these programs. There's a reason why you chose to study that program, and you pick the destinations to which you're traveling. And I hope that you'll be thinking through how to instill global competency with your students, and also to get them out of the American bubble that oftentimes faculty-directed programs have a critique of. So I hope as you start planning your program, you'll use the resources that we're going to show you to think of ways in which you can instill these values in your programs. And I will send out the Prezi later today or next week, so that way you'll have, you can watch this we'll do a video of stuff study abroad students say, and these are what we want to avoid our students doing, so make sure you watch that and have a good laugh. And then you'll also have them going to these resources where you can go to and get ideas of how you might practice syllabus or certain lectures in a way so students can engage with the locals. NASA is our field's main professional organization, and so they have standards for short-term programs and faculty-directed programs and actually a resource page for faculty. Similarly, the Field for Education Abroad is also a standard-setting agency that we look to, and they have a number of resources. Kind of a personal plus here, this website I helped create called betterabroad.org, and there are numerous resources we collected from around the internet that can help you in pre-departures, while you're on the ground with associated reflection exercises, even re-entry resources. You can take a look at that. I love Dr. Alvin's work at the University of Kentucky, and he put together with his staff a whole website called the Faculty Director Toolkit with a lot of great lesson plans that you can just pull and put into your syllabus to start thinking through these things. And then in case you can't tell, we're super passionate about this, and the bulk of our job seems to be spent in the bills and finance of it. We would love to work with you to talk about creative ways to work with your students on global competency and getting them thinking and working with the locals. So please just shoot your ideas to us and we can chat about that. But I want to make sure we spend the better part of these last few minutes with our wonderful faculty who are joining us today, so you can ask them questions and we can hear from them. So like that, I can do it. We're listening to Jen right at the front. We will turn it over to them.
By the way, if any of you need to stand up and shake it off, feel free. Get my hair, there's my I recommend the chips.
So, I think the way we could go about this is I agree with them, I think, it would be 5 or so questions that we might think about, but I'm sure you all have questions. So maybe I'll start with the first question and we can kind of see where you guys want to take it. So, Ben Bruce, what would you like someone to have told you prior to leaving your first program?
I think one of the things that I would have liked to have known is something that Dan said a little bit earlier, which is that you actually wear a lot of different hats with your students. You're with them a lot of time, and you are their you play band-aids, literally, you counsel sometimes, you drive them or take them to hospitals or to doctor visits. I mean, I don't think the very first time I went, I had any idea the amount of responsibility that we have, because we are actually their teachers, their counselors, their parents, their nurse, we are all of those things to them. And that would have been one thing that I would have liked to have known before I went. I wasn't opposed to it once I got there, but it still is interesting. It still is interesting with our millennial students. Because more so now than 15 years ago when I went, the students that I've been taking in the last few years are very focused on, oftentimes, and I don't mean this because I'm a woman, because it also happens with my males that go on this trip, that you kind of play a role out that is very parental. I wouldn't say parent, but it's very parental, in the way in which they want to interact with you.
And I would say that, just to add that quickly, that both they and their parents seem to have a much bigger expectation of us acting in local parentis than they do when their child is here upstate in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So there is that expectation when you're participating.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be forced to partner with somebody. When I proposed the program, Fred Corey was the Dean of School of Letters and Sciences, and Carmen, Rose, she proposed the program, and the Dean basically said, I want you two to do it together.
And then, Mohammed's had experience elsewhere doing some study abroad. I've never done a study abroad, so I was able to follow a lot of her leads on information. But as a group, as a team, it was really nice, and I think it's a great thing that you actually have another member, 2 people, because stuff happens. And stuff can happen. I mean, as it happened, I actually got pneumonia, and really serious pneumonia in June. I was out of it, and then I was doing that, I ended up with DVT, blood clot in my leg. So I couldn't even go until about a week into the program, and if that would have just been me there on the program, I don't know what would have happened then. It would have been a big mess. So it's really nice that they actually have 2 people. So Carmen was able to be there, and I showed up, and then she just took the rest of the time off. She didn't do that. We looked at the team. She had a lot of Spanish that I do. I was beginning Spanish. That would help. I speak some, but not very fluent. A lot of little things, I think, that you don't really know until you get into a country. Again, this is the Dominican Republic. We're there. We know it's a developing country, but it's a large city. A million people live in the city we're in. So you just assume they have things. I assume there are laundromats. And there aren't. No laundromats. People have maybe a washing machine in their residence, or they rent them. They actually rent them, and they're blocked through the place. I had no idea that was the case. I had no place to do my laundry. Luckily, the ISA, the group that we have, found a place for me to do it. Little things like that I think will really help out. Finding, again, health care, actually going to the meeting is really good and learning about the health insurance that's available. It's actually better than your AFU insurance. Just in case, so it really takes a lot of the worries off. And if someone's really sick, they're flying home, take care of them.
So we do have a few other questions, but I want to make sure we get any questions you might have answered. So we could follow these leads, or if there are any questions you would like to ask our panelists?
Yeah, I'm curious how you integrate the course plan. That's one of the requirements of solving application as a solution of syllabus. And so I've been concurrently put together a syllabus along with the study abroad proposal, and trying to wrap my head around course requirements that are ostensibly required for students while they're in country, and struggling with course duration relative to the in-country experience as well as the evaluative requirements. Insights or experience?
Well, we did what worked out really well for us. Since we were in the country for 4 weeks, we actually started on Blackboard 2 weeks earlier. And so students were doing work that we had 6 credit hours. Some of it was internship that we're going to be doing that mostly in country, that we had another course. So they were doing for 2 weeks they were doing coursework, which basically made a 6-week course instead of just doing it in 4. That helped out tremendously as far as the timeline. We also met 2 hours, since we were in country in the same city, we were able to be 2 hours a day, 4 days a week in classroom, in a classroom setting that was set up for us at a hotel type place. One of the things that is a problem that we found, which you don't really think about, they have Wi-Fi everywhere, but we couldn't always get on the ASU website. And we really had a lot of trouble getting on the Blackboard because it's a larger bandwidth thing. And I was talking to UTO, and they actually said there's something they can do on your computer that gets you like a backdoor setup where bypasses a lot of that. So I'm trying to find more about that. The students couldn't get on. They had Wi-Fi when they were in the home stays, but again, they couldn't get on the Blackboard. And that made it a little more difficult for information, for them to do their assignments and us to see what was going on.
Can you mind if that what kind of assignments did you ever take too?
Well, for the internships they had, they were giving, talking about their experience with the internship and what they learned. Half of them was Spanish speaking, but they were not Spanish speaking, they were more Spanish credit. They were Spanish majors. The other half were healthcare majors.
So they're doing assignments, internship is more just kind of spiritual. Yeah, spiritual, yeah. And then our other class was culture and healthcare. And so I was teaching more the healthcare aspects of healthcare in the Dominican Republic and comparing it to the United States and looking at issues and challenges that they face there. So they had some written assignments that we need to do with that. And culture, we got to look at about culture and in travel abroad. So they kind of had assignments with that. And there were other assignments that Carmen had put together for, again, more experience of what they're experiencing in country. And again, getting information from them was always difficult because they couldn't upload it. And so we kind of had to work that out.
Oh, you're teaching
What?
course across 3 countries?
Yeah, I would always take 2 other faculty members with me, so there's always 3 of us. And sometimes, depending on who the faculty member is, the course doesn't specifically address issues specifically in that country. But one of the things that we do is we have a British Life and Irish Life and Culture class that I teach. And I both teach it and also hire people to come in and speak. So basically what we do is we set the classes up so that in the morning we have regular classes. So if you're a student taking Sarah's class on conflict and negotiation, you're meeting, for a couple of hours in the morning on Mondays and Wednesdays. But every afternoon, you're mine. And on my watch, what we do is we take you to museums. We hire people to come in and do lectures so that we contextualize basically the 3 countries that we go to, Scotland, Ireland, and England, and their relationships with each other. And so we have lectures on everything from the EU to social class in Britain, to Irish history and how Ireland, what Ireland's relationship is with England, et cetera, So we really do, they get a very good historical, critical, cultural kind of overview of those 3 countries and their relationships with one another.
The length
of our program is about 6.5 weeks. 6.
And then you got polls for 2 expired and then 6.
Right.
I'd like to ask you a question about the academic portion of it. So, does your program well, first of all, did you call these universities and find the faculty to work with you? And then secondly, who pays?
I work with 3 different universities. So I work with the University of Richmond in London, and the University College Dublin in Ireland, and then the University of Edinburgh in Edinburgh. And in all 3 cases, I have over the years met people or asked my colleagues who we work with to find, a blue badge guy, a tour guide who does something, or they have suggested faculty members at their institutions. So over the years, people have come and gone. Over the years, we've had people who've been, great and the students love, and that was bad, and they're not coming back next year. So over the years, we've kind of gotten a group of folks that we kind of rehire now.
And does anyone do it out of the kindness of their heart, or do they hire?
No.
If I may, on some other programs that by contact during the media program, these are personal network connections that the professor has, and they do it out of the kindness of their heart. So,
well, this is that people that, we want to do a lecture for you.
Right.
We haven't quite broached the topic if the community or not. And I didn't know if it was a requirement, what you say?
We did.
we had no contacts in the Dominican Republic, we worked with ISA. And they had all the contacts, and they brought in people. And some were good, and some, again, were really going to the next year's budget and looking at it and saying, we don't want that. But like one of the people that brought in to talk about healthcare, she didn't speak any English at all Spanish, and I think she was actually teaching everything that the student really talked about. So it was a couple hours, and they just like, what did she talk about? But then we did it at the hospital, but she had great connections there, so we were like everywhere.
This is a good question about contracts and invoices. So anything, if you need help talking to your partner institutions about setting up an arrangement, we can certainly help with that. If they do want to be paid, we build that into the budget. It's part of the student's program fee, and we pay them. Or sometimes, if prepayment is not possible in your cash advance, we would then have money to pay the person on site. Great questions.
I have a less conceptual question, but more pragmatic. Now, if you go to Ireland, I'm presumably hard to set it from the top of the group thing and keep the people out there. I know that you're thinking of these trips, but how do you actually address that, and how lenient are you in terms of experiencing culture versus...
So the official way in which this will happen in a lot of our other training, we're not even bringing the risk manager, and we'll hear more about this, is we kind of think of program time, on-program time, and off-program time. So there is no drinking except during on-program time. So if you are going to a restaurant as part of a group meal, you cannot be spending ASU money to pay your money to buy wine, even if it's customary in that culture. Similarly, we would hope that you would think very carefully before you yourself decide to be seen drinking in front of any of your students. In fact, our risk managers don't at all. Now, off-program time, when students, after your activity, and if they're there after class is ended, they can do what they want to. So they can go out in the city, and they do engage in those sorts of activities. Right?
Well, I really had one with a meal.
Right.
Is that not allowed?
ASU policy, we cannot spend money.
Well, I don't have the money with that, but we're saying it's okay, students.
Yeah,
Go on later session.
Okay.
On the topic. You'll get advice, and a lot of it is think about what to go on. Right? And it may be customary, but if we allow them to have a drink that they purchase on their own because we're in Paris and you have a glass of wine with every meal, that may be acceptable. The thing I always worry about is when you leave and they all stay there and you keep drinking, and gets run over by a bus, and that was because, ASU gave me a glass of wine. It's a very gray area, it's very nuanced, and then we spend a lot of time talking about that in some of our liability specialists and management sections.
Are you literature for this section?
No, that's all part of the University Club, they do.
I do use a lot of peer pressure. Because, basically, the countries I go to, you can drink at 18. And all of the students that I take are over 18. Most of them are 19, 20 years old, but many of them are not 21. And no, I do not stand at any door. But I do have a discussion with them at a couple of very, very important junctures in the program where I talk about being responsible and being careful, and that you're in a country and you're in a place that even though you speak the language of the people that are around you, there are different codes, there are different moral values sometimes, etc., and you need to be aware of them. So I use a lot of peer pressure. And it actually has, where's the wood? It actually has, been very successful over the last couple of years. But, it took 12 years of my going on this trip to all of a sudden figure out a way to do this that was appropriate, and a lot of interesting experiences before that happened.
You said specific junctures. How do you time those junctures? Like, where you put a good part to
take time to do it?
Well, once you've got all of your students have committed, so once you know exactly who it is that's going, so usually towards the end of the spring, when we have one of our very last meetings, as they do before we're going to leave, that's when I start a conversation about being responsible for all of us as a group, and being responsible for yourself and other people that are going along with us. And then when we get to Europe, and they are completely jet lagged and really tired and really freaked out about what have they done and where are they, and they don't know anything that's going on, that's a really good time. So yeah, they feel very vulnerable, and I use a process of getting them all together, and I pick generally 30 students, so I get them all together and I make them hold hands. And I know this sounds like, some sort of counseling session, but it really works well. I get them to hold hands and I say, I want you to look around this room because these are the people that are your family for the next 6 weeks. Whether or not you want them to be, whether or not you will like them after tomorrow, whether or not you want to spend time with them, doesn't matter. We are a group of folks that are family for the next 6 weeks. And like all families, there are things that, that you need to be responsible for and aware of. And I do this whole little talk with them. And I have to say that it's been very productive over the last few years I've been doing this. And I find them, it's not unlike when you go to camp and you're a kid, and you're assigned a buddy, and you're supposed to be responsible for that person. And I find, especially with millennial students, that they really take to that very well. And they seem very invested in taking care of one another.
Another critical time could be following an incident.
Yes.
There could be an incident where a student gets arrested or injured, or comes home drunk and everybody's concerned and they tell you about it, and that's a good time to do it. How often do students get arrested? I mean, generally, or every year you guys have students get arrested? No, it's really rare. Exceedingly rare.
Right, well,
Those dates in here somewhere?
those dates are not indicated on our website, so they're now you guys jot them down, or when I send out the Friday, I'll give you the link to all of our workshops and ISCPs, so you'll have that.
Just mention one quick thing.
Yeah.
One thing you might want to make sure you really pay attention, you get working with Kyle and Randy and a couple new people is the budget. We found out, we didn't even know it until we were looking at next year's budget, and that there were some items on there, was like, what was that? What was that $150 per student charge for? That $100. There was a donation fee or something like that ISA donates. Well, we didn't know anything about it. It was nice if they did donate it to some organization and we get credit for it as ASU students, and that they had competition taking thing, or that there was almost like, it looked like double transportation fees at times. They had a transportation fee and somewhere else another one, and it's overwhelming initially to look at the budget, but of course, these people have more experience with it, and they should be aware of that. And even though it's just $100 here and $100 there, it starts adding up, and the students pay a lot of money, for these trips.
So we haven't sent you, in most cases, I think, the actual budget template we use because it is kind of unwieldy at times, and we would prefer to introduce you to it, walk you through it, and help you build your budget. So we have it ready as we get quotes from your partners, or we help reaching out to partners, let us know we can start building the budget right now if you're ready for your program to receive approval. Thank you so much to each of you for being here today to share your expertise, and thank you all. Really quickly to go off through some upcoming dates. Our next workshop, optional workshop, is going to be how to effectively market your program. I know we rushed through some of what you had in your packet, so that would be a really great workshop to come to because October and November really is marketing season.
October 23rd, to get going.
hopefully, mid-October that we were told from the provost to approve this, so.
For those students, the video recorded,
Yeah, we're gonna try and record every one of our workshops.
that's right.
Okay, video abroad, I didn't talk much about this today, but it's our CRM, our database that we manage some applications with. It's not the most intuitive of systems, so we're gonna present a new workshop on how to use it and kind of tips and tricks for using it, so hope you'll listen to that one. Study abroad fair, November 18th. Alright, let's talk about this real quick. January 15th, it says the budget deadline. That is way late to be working on a budget and getting it approved. Right now, the fall semester is going to need to be marketing your program, and students really know how much your program costs. So even though we gave you January 15th, please don't wait that late to start your budget, or we're going to be in very difficult territory come the March 1st application deadline. Let's start now. We're ready, and we want to get those steps fit. And then last week, February 5th, this is a kind of a mini study about that we started last year, just for faculty-directed programs. We do it out on Hitting On for the visibility, so you can go ahead and pencil that date in as well. Alright, thank you so much for being here on Saturday. We have parking violation stickers if you, those.
The one on,
There it is.
yeah, the one on the,
Alright, thank you so much.
Thank you.
How many do